Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Cajun Lamb Lollipops. Well, I'm excited to be sharing with you guys today a really simple, flavor-packed recipe for grilled rack of lamb. We're gonna do whole racks of lamb today, grilled over charcoal, basted in a Cajun butter, and then we're gonna serve it over some cheesy grits. Now, this is kind of a special occasion meal around here because honestly, lamb's a little bit pricier than beef here in the States where we are. So we don't get to eat it all the time, but this is the perfect time of year. You're getting people together for the holidays. You might as well splurge just a little bit. Now, the first thing we're gonna do today is get our charcoal going, and we're cooking on the Kamado Joe Kettle Joe. So we've got our ceramic firebox loaded up with some lump charcoal. We're gonna get some little fire starters in here to get things going. Now we're gonna build our butter baste for our lamb lollipops. This is gonna have a bit of a Cajun flair to it, but it's real simple. We're gonna do butter. We need a vinegar-based hot sauce. We're using the Cattleman's Grill Pit Fire. We're gonna do a half cup of lemon juice, which is equal to the amount of hot sauce. Go ahead and squeeze that fresh. And then we've got some aromatics and some parsley, garlic, and our Cajun seasoning. Just a little bit short. I'll go grab another lemon. We're gonna throw in about a quarter cup of parsley here. Give it a good mince. You can use leaves and stems in this application. The stems are a little bit hardier, which is a good thing because we're gonna heat this up, melt everything down. Next, we're gonna move to our garlic. We're gonna take this full head of garlic and just crush these cloves down and throw them in. We'll go ahead and take the papery skins off because we are going to be basting this over the lamb. We don't want to end up chewing on that later. Now for the Cajun fusion, we're going to do 4 teaspoons for this batch. We're essentially doing a 4 times batch here. A half cup of butter for each rack of lamb, which may seem like a lot, but you're gonna see once we get those cheese grits in there too, a little extra butter sauce is not a bad thing. So it's getting hot inside the Kettle Joe, over 550 degrees right now. You can see that we've still got a lot of charcoal that needs to work its way to red hot. In the meantime, we're gonna throw our butter baste on here, kind of away from the direct heat. Let this start to melt down, and we'll go trim up our rack of lamb. Now the rack of lamb that we're working with today is from New Zealand. You can see it's come partially trimmed, still got some fat on it, completely Frenched already. We're just gonna clean it up a little bit. You're gonna take any little excess pieces off the edge. As far as the fat goes, some people really like having this fat on the outside. When you think about how we're gonna eat this, it's gonna be sliced in between each bone. So this is essentially like one good sized bite that you're gonna get out of each one. If you can get rid of some silver skin, I like to do that, but sometimes the silver skin runs right underneath that muscle and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'll take it off where I can, I'll leave it on where I can't. So this is what we're talking about, where there's a little muscle on top of the silver skin. In that case, I'm not gonna mess with it. But that's really all there is to it. We're gonna fly through these other 3 racks and then get them seasoned up. So now that these are all trimmed up, we're gonna go ahead and get them seasoned. Just gonna hit them with a little bit of that same hot sauce we used in the butter as a binder. And then we'll come in with our Cattleman's Grill Cajun Fusion. Make sure that we get anywhere we can see that meat exposed. We want to get some seasoning on top of it. All right, we'll let those set up for just a few minutes while we go stir our Cajun butter. Now you can see we're simmering away here. We'll go ahead and give it a whisk. This is a good thing. As these things warm up, I start to infuse all that garlic, parsley, all those flavors into the butter, lemon juice, the hot sauce. I'm not really looking to like cook this down, but just to bring everything up to temperature to wake up all those flavors. So with that sauce just simmering away, we're gonna go ahead and start to get some good color on our lamb. I'm not gonna close the lid at this point. We want our lamb pretty rare, so I don't wanna expedite this too much. I wanna make sure we get all the color we want before the internal comes up too high. So now that we've got the lamb going, I also wanna get our cheese grits started because those are gonna take just a little bit of time to cook. Ideally, we'd get these going now. By the time they're fully cooked, our lamb is off and rested, so we'll be a little bit back and forth between the grill and the table. And before we get too much further into this, I'm gonna put some foil on their bones so we don't lose all of them to the fire. You can see we're starting to get some good color on there. Got a little bit of a hot spot on this side of the grill, so I'm gonna go ahead and rotate these racks with the ones from the other side. Our butter base can come off to the side now. Kind of got what we need out of that. You can smell that garlic and citrus. Oh, that smells amazing. So we brought 3 cups of water to a boil. I'm gonna add now a cup of our coarse grits or cornmeal here. Just want to whisk this in slowly so it doesn't clump up. Do we see that coming to a simmer? We're gonna bring the heat down just a little bit, about medium. And we're just gonna let this simmer away as it softens up the corn. So getting some really nice color on our lamb now. We're gonna move this off to the more indirect side of the grill. And now we can begin to baste with our Cajun butter. It's a good idea to wait until you get to indirect heat to start putting that butter on there because it's gonna flare up even on indirect side. But if you do this over those hot coals, it's gonna be straight fire. So we're moving these guys around a little bit, making sure that we get good color on both sides, butter based on both sides. We're getting really close though. We're shooting for about 120 degrees on a finishing internal temperature. We got about 10 degrees to go, so I'm gonna close these up because I've got all the color I want, and then we'll be done in no time. So we're over like a medium-low heat now. These should be just about where we want them. They've really thickened up. Yeah, so still a little bit of bite to them. We're using a coarse cornmeal. Instant grits, this is not gonna work with, obviously. But just a quick 10 minutes, and these are tender but not overdone yet. We're gonna pull them off. All right, we're up in that 120 range on all of these racks now. So we're gonna go ahead and pull these off. And then while we're at it, we'll go ahead and just baste these one more time, and then we'll let them rest. Now we're gonna warm up some heavy cream and some chicken stock that we're gonna work into our grits. As that starts to get incorporated, also add a couple tablespoons of butter. Should be pretty creamy at this point. We're gonna tighten it up with a little bit with some cheeses. Got some smoked cheddar and some Parmesan. Now, except for the cheeses here, we haven't added any salt, so we're gonna need a little bit of that. We'll go ahead and throw in a pinch of kosher salt now, and then taste and adjust. Super creamy. Just a pinch more salt, otherwise we're good. All right, lamb has been resting for about, 5 to 10 minutes now. Not terribly long. But our grits are done. I'm gonna slice into lollipops here and get this plated up. And of course you can do these to order. To people's favorite doneness. But for me, just that pink center is exactly what I want to see. All right, we got our grits down. Let's get some of these Cajun Lamb Lollipops in here. We're gonna top it off with some more of our Cajun butter. A little bit of that garlic on there is not gonna hurt. Hit it with just a little bit more hot sauce. And some parsley. There we have it. Let's dig in. Oh my. So tender. I love that bite. Cajun butter. So good. It's garlicky. It's bright and citrusy because of that lemon. Really not overpowered by the butter, but the butter helps to coat your mouth. And that's what really spreads those flavors all the way around. It's got just the right amount of char from the charcoal. I really love this combination. I gotta try these grits on their own though. Just so creamy. And that Cajun butter goes perfect on top. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, barbecue legends are made.